arguably, Lavinia's gonna have to find somewhere else to live because she's not gonna move back in with her dad. He'd offer, and she'd be like, no.
You don't want to move in with the venerable Wilhelm Hale?
No.
I'd move in with him. Your dad's kind of hot.
He can get it. Wilhelm fucks.
As evidenced by the fact that Lavinia exists.
Yeah, at least once.
At least once. Biological, unarguable proof that this man fucks.
Nah, think about it, man. Homie in his 30s was like a fucking captain in the military, like just buff as hell, wearing full plate. Like, yeah. Dude was out there with his little the Thug Life glasses, like, yeah. And it's like, hey, you have a kid. It's like, a what?
Hey, buddy. You have... Hi, nice to meet you. You have a baby. Would you like this baby? If you don't want the baby, I'm going to pretend it's my baby. And he's like, no, hand that over.
He's taking the sunglasses off, like, man, I gotta re-examine my life and calm down. One orgy a week it is. Can't be out all night all the time. Got a kid to look after now. Hello, everyone.
Bee's just sitting there like, well.
He's like, your dad's partying with pirates? Maybe he will be allowed on CW's boat.
Maybe he could come on the boat.
Wilhelm was cool once.
Huh?
Wilhelm was cool once. And there's no weird age gap.
It's true. There's no weird... He's younger than Bee.
Yeah.
It's true. It's just like, oh, God. Oh, God. I was worried about the wrong roommate.
The Riv off in the background being like,
And he's got the squirt bottle just like,
Riv's not going to sleep with a cop.
No,
but he will call him daddy.
Riv
would just walk off.
Riv would do that just to fuck with Lavinia.
That's true. Riv would sleep with a cop's dad.
Yeah.
He's just like a super cop.
Super cop.
Yeah. He's like the top cop.
Top cop.
Moving on. Anyway, hello everyone. We're back. So we're down a few party members tonight. We got a little town game going. So the other two unfortunately couldn't make it. They got some life stuff going on. So if you're tracking what's going on, just reach out and say hello and just send them a kind word. But otherwise, they're out for the time being. So, but we shall carry on because Lord knows we have enough lot to just kind of unpack. As evidenced by how many pages is this document now?
We are up to 88 pages.
Wow, I thought for sure we broke triple digits already.
Very close. I think. Well, to be fair, there wasn't a lot of notes to take when we were in combat.
This is true. It's more of just a done hit thing.
Yep.
Occasional dialogue that seems ominous or witty, but.
Why is this bitch not letting me subscribe to our channel?
Twitch I don't know, but
being a shitbird.
No bueno.
It is. Little to no buenos.
But let's do a quick round of introductions for our new level 5 party. Get our sick music going. We're back, and we'll start with Bee.
Hi, I'm Della. I am playing Bee, Kima Bombler. I am a gnomish wizard, and I am stressed the fuck out. I have an extra-dimensional rock friend. Like a pet rock? I've got one. It talks to me. It's probably fine. I also need to go meet with the Open Lord's husband, the headmaster of my university, about that whole astral plane trip we just took and about the fact that he knows some stuff about me now that I probably shouldn't have shared. But here we are.
Sharon's caring.
Sharing is caring. He knows that I know that the city's broke and not able to pay its debts. And he knows that I know that I want to help.
And he knows that
him to think that I want to help, but he doesn't know that I actually do want to help. I am also my house just blew up. My house did just blow up.
All in the
Uh
same day.
and there were a bunch oh yeah, like the same day I got back from the astral plane. My house blew up and I all got bit by a giant ice spider like twice. Giant ice spiders tried to eat me. And I'm not happy about that.
They're
I'm ready to blow up the Underdark.
Hell
as a
yeah.
gnome, they were extra big spiders for you.
They were unwholesome.
Ginormous.
They were unwholesomely large, and I'm just not okay with a spider that big. I like spiders. Ugh.
I love it. So no more big spiders is what I'm hearing. Check.
No.
I don't love it.
Feedback's taken. Hell yeah. We got Lavinia.
Hi. I'm playing Lavinia Hale. She's a half elf. She's a cop. She's got one arm that was cut off by who she now knows to be a drow assassin who had come to the city specifically to end her father's bloodline. Her father's bloodline consisting of her father and herself. Nobody else. They did not succeed. Not only did they not succeed, Lavinia may have made a mockery of their god by impersonating her in order to convince a big ass spider princess to eat a drider, which is like a crime in several types of considerations in the Underdark. But it's fine. It's fine. Lavinia's doing fine about it. She's not going to talk to her dad about it unless she's held it essentially magical gunpoint.
Walter enters the chat.
Does he have one of those actually? Because
He-
the university's actually really concerned about those.
Rohan
Yeah,
does not. He just has ridiculously enchanted sword and
Yeah.
plate mail.
Yeah,
That's
but like, but here's the thing. It's like her options really are deal with her father's family drama, deal with her mother's family drama, or technically deal with Brindle's family drama, because she does still have to go arrest Brindle's uncle.
Option 4, just create your own drama.
True. That's true. Lavinia can cause drama in her own right. She can still accept Advin's invitation to lunch and then show up with a demon.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be real good.
That would be really fun.
She could still do that just for the drama of it all.
Mhm.
Just for the lulz.
Just for the lulz.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
I'm excited to see what happens.
Let's play to find out.
That's what we do. I'm Andrew. I run the game. I have way too many pictures and notes and graphs over here that help me keep track of all this. Let's get to it, shall we? So, we had kind of a hell of a fight the last 2 sessions, right? And our party, of course, comes out victorious, but at a bit of a cost, at the expense of their boarding house, and some of the nearby houses around they're burnt to pretty much to the ground or beyond repair.
I want to note that that was not the cost of our victory. We did not set those houses on fire. They were on fire when we got there. That is important.
That's true. That's true. It's not your fault they were on fire.
Eh,
You didn't directly set the fires,
There you go.
so. But
It was
As-
always burning.
the fires are being put out in this scene and close by to Candle Way, right? We see one by one, and almost like a zoom camera, watch comes in, people are evacuated, crime scenes are roped off, right? And people leave. They're taken to medics, they're taken to acolytes, they're taken to just safe shelters for the evening. They move on to the next part of their shift, and eventually it dwindles down to just a small crew of watchmen who are there coordinating off the crime scene until they're finished with their part of the investigation. Well, the midnight shift is rough. It's boring. After all the adrenaline, especially, right? Start to get tired, fatigued. Are just sitting there on their posts. One of them kind of propped up on a little supply box, the other one kind of leaning against a wall, just talking to each other about nothing, passing the time. And we hear a very quiet voice nearby, almost like a whisper in their ear, and it just says, "Sleep." And the two guards, one of them leaning against the wall, starts to kind of sink down and fall asleep back against the wall. The other one on the crate kind of just leans over to another box nearby, resting his head on it, and just falls asleep. And from the shadows of this alleyway, we see a small male gnome. A little older looking, kind of lines of aging, and for a gnome, significant across his face. Kind of more white than color in his beard. Cloak kind of pulled over his head. Stride past these two guards, goes under the little caution tape, starts sifting through the rubble of the Good Times boarding house, muttering to himself. Little walking stick he's using, kind of sifting through the ash. Overturns a few things, some burnt out portraits, some just charred books that he kind of knocks to the side. Couple chests that are popped open to see like charred remains of clothes. He just shakes his head. And eventually, there's a metallic thump. And he overturns a small, it's like metallic oak leaf pen. And he reaches down and holds it, a little bit of ambient light kind of crossing over the light and shadow of this scene as he's watching this thing glint a bit in the street light. I'm going to roll a die. Okay. You see him stare at this pen and whisper another strange incantation. In Gnomish, which would translate to "Show me your past." And his eyes light up with a bit of arcane energy, and it's almost like he's watching a movie in like rapid time, speeding backwards and forwards, his eyes darting rapidly, just watching these very scenes that flash in front of him until he closes his eyes for an extended period, reopens them, and they're their normal color again. And he pockets the little pen and then fades away into the darkness. Two guards waking back up. And it's like, hey, one guard throws like, a little rock at the other. It's like, hey, you're snoring. Wake up, man. I wasn't sleeping. Yeah. What we're talking about? You tell me about your bar story. Oh, yeah. Crazy night. Crazy night at the Red Rooster, let me tell you. And then they go back to the conversation as if nothing happened. A little further away, we zoom out and see something different. Apologies, there's a different music for this. Scene zooms away from the city entirely, and away from just maybe even the Sewer Coast. You see a very nice, low lit study. It's filled with beautiful art, ornate relics, weapons, gems, exquisite and expensive taste. And all that's being ignored by a figure staring at what we would know as to be a lance board or a chessboard. But it's massive. It's got multiple dimensions. It looks like someone's taken about 10 of them and put them together and leveled them off at varying intervals. And this figure staring down, we don't see its face. We just see a solid black onyx mask and two small but piercing yellow eyes staring down at this lance board. And it picks up a little one-on figurine and a tiny little gnome figurine and two others that look intimately familiar as well. It moves them to a square and removes a little drow figurine and puts it off to the side, a small model of what looks like a keep. And the eyes lighten, almost as if it's a smile. And it says, probably to itself, "Your move, Sarek." And it simply turns away from the board, goes back to staring at one of its walls of ornate collections of art, this one just covered in different types of masks. Your move. The next morning, it's a bad night, right? Going from the astral plane to kind of bar hopping a little bit to the house burning down to this fight. Everyone is tired and exhausted. Now, temporary lodging is set up for you all. You're seen by acolytes, you're seen by medics, and physically, you all are in the best condition you could be in now after this night of sleep and attention. Mentally, but physical scars, they done be healed. And little after you wake up, there's a knock on the frame outside, and Lavinia, you recognize your father's voice that says, "Lavinia, do you have a moment?"
Are we sharing a room?
That is up to you guys.
I think we could. I think that would be fine. Is B just like oh no?
Yeah, B's just like, oh, B's been like the whole night. B has been designing fire hydrants. like a network of fire hydrants
Since you
in
can't
her
sleep.
head because
Hell
I
yeah.
can't sleep. So that's what Bee's been doing this whole time. So, you know,
Schematics of this insane pressurized underwater system.
like immediately like goes and pretends to be asleep. Like when the knocks on the door.
Yeah, sure.
The tent flap opens, and you can see these tents have been set up kind of a couple blocks away from where the fire was. And there's a lot of other tents for basically anybody's house that was like damaged or destroyed in the fire has been given like a temporary overnight lodging until the city can figure out like how to actually get them more permanent accommodations. And he's no longer wearing his full plate. He's back in his kind of unofficial off-duty uniform that you saw him once before of like dark slacks and like a dark shirt that has the Waterdeep City Crest logo on it. He walks in and sets down 3 cups of coffee and picks one up for himself and kind of takes a seat in a little folding chair. Well, no good way to start this one. So, how you holding up?
Well, um, on the one hand, it's kind of good to have some sort of an answer. On the other hand, I'm still missing an arm.
Sounds like, I guess, forward progress. Hmm. I'll start with the easy stuff first. I know that the boarding house is gone. Um, so an offer to you and your friends. I see your face. You are, of course, always welcome back home anytime. But I figured you still might want some space. There's lodging in the castle ward available. They have a series of uh, diplomatic or visiting suites. Traditionally, this wouldn't be an option, but it still wouldn't give you access to the castle itself, but would give you some nice lodging for at least a little while. You could probably stay there for about a month before we'd have to find another place. And there's enough room for 4.
That does put Madame Ethelwhite in a tricky spot. But then again, I think Riv has kind of moved out on us.
I did speak with Madame Ethelwhite. She's an odd one. I told her I could also help find her some accommodations. She kind of laughed and said that this wasn't her for the first time one of her houses burnt down and she'd be fine, and then left. Um,
Well,
She's like that, yeah.
you want your coffee, Bee?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Good morning, B. Good to see you again.
Yeah,
Circumstances were better.
yeah, that would be nice. Here we are.
Well, he hands you he sets down like 4 small keys and 4 small little passes on the table and says, if you want to take up the offer, he gives you directions to the house in the castle ward. It's a little busy right now. just with the influx of people traveling, but there's still space.
That's very kind of you. Thank you very much.
Of course, I wish I could do more. Sadly, the damage from the fire was too great before we arrived.
Well, I don't think it was a normal fire, so that's, I suppose, to be expected. But thank you. That
The he nods. The drow we have in custody. If you'd like, you are more than welcome to come with me when I speak to her. If you deserve answers.
I mean, yeah. But I kind of get the feeling that I don't need her for those answers. I feel like you know what you did.
I mean, yes, in summary, I won a war. And that cost lives on both ends. When a small group of us traveled into the Underdark, we had an information that the foci that was keeping the eclipse spell running on the Silver Marshes, we had information about where it was. So we traveled to the Underdark, small group of us. In the spirit of transparency, there were many drow that we killed quickly and quietly before we got to the actual spell site itself. And we destroyed everything. Finished the eclipse spell, blinded the drow on the Silver Marshes, turned the tide of the war, and in the process painted a massive target on all of our backs.
Yeah.
One of the drow I killed was the high priestess's daughter. She was charged with guarding the ritual.
And then you had a daughter.
If I could have planned it, the timing would have been different. And then he laughs and then realizes that's probably a bad joke and then stops.
I mean, I
Yeah, I took
guess.
one of their daughters, and Drow don't. They have long memories.
What was the radius of the eclipse spell over the
Miles.
Silver Marshes?
Miles. It covered nearly the entire plains. It took nearly 50 drow to maintain it.
Hmm. Hmm.
It was an impressive work of magic, but removing the spell was the key to ending that campaign.
How did you do it? How was it just a matter of killing the people who were, just disrupting the ritual, or was there a key to it? Did you have a wizard with you who
We did. We
did
had a
the
very skilled arcanist with me. I won't say more, for his name is not gotten out, and I'd prefer to keep it that way.
Mhm.
But no, I'd like to. I'm giving more credit than I think deserve. I fought the fight, but I was not the one that actually destroyed the spell.
Mm.
So there you have it.
Well, took them long enough to do something about it, I suppose.
Hmm.
What are the odds that they'll stop?
I think we laid. Woo! Man, I'm drunk as hell already.
Ha!
Sorry, the spider venom. After that and being stabbed with the drow poison, I'm still a little out of it.
Well, it's true. The only real way to neutralize that spider venom is hard alcohol.
That's why I had a lot of whiskey yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And still some of that coffee too. It will pick me up.
In this coffee?
But he says we may have waylaid them for a time, but I feel very confident they'll return.
Well,
Mm.
that sounds like a future me's problem.
All the more reason to be vigilant. But they know we're on guard now. But wait.
Mm.
Bee, how are you?
Is this him asking or you asking?
No, it's him.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. Uh, I'm wondering what they want. Other than revenge. Like, revenge, yeah, sure, revenge. Uh, like, killing you both would probably be a feather in somebody's cap, but, like, that's... It wasn't a big force of them, so I could believe that incursion was purely motivated by revenge, but, like, I would posit that given their long memories and their incessant what we know of their culture, which is granted not much, what do they want? Like, why come up here at all? They can't really exist up here efficiently. Just as we can't really exist down there efficiently, like, my cousins notwithstanding.
I would say you're right, it's truly a waste of their resources to do all this to kill two people, but then again, they haven't killed us.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm sort of thinking, but a little more broadly than that. Like, what else is there? Like, why do the Silver Marches campaign? Why eclipse? Why have that eclipse spell in the first place? E- a light spell going down into darkness. A permanent light spell or permanent light sources are relatively simple. Miners have figured that out ages and ages ago. It's much easier for us to go into the darkness than it is for the drow to come to the surface and stay here for an extended period of time. What's the point?
Well, to the best assessment we had, defensive territory to show of force. Part of it was driving. We assessed that trying to drive back people who perhaps were mining a little too deep into those areas. And part of it was to show that they were not afraid of the surface. It could impact our lives up here. Unfortunately, the person who knows the situation best has been gone for about a year.
Who's that?
Big old Neverember. It's his campaign during his tenure as Open Lord.
Huh. Interesting.
That name just keeps coming up.
His son was in the news recently for something. I don't recall what though.
Dating a roommate.
Just just pulled his ass.
Phenomenal. It's good to
Oh,
see the
yeah.
Wazoo's reporting on.
Yeah, that
Current
reminds
events.
me. I've got to go have a meeting with Professor Aronson.
Oh, Elvin, tell him I said hello.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, Dad. Who don't you know?
I mean, he works for
It's-
his wife. So,
Yeah.
like,
He's around a lot.
Yeah, but like in general. Like, how long have you been hanging out with the pirate?
yeah, how long have you been hanging out with the pirate? I want to hang out with the pirate.
He like looks around and is like, keep your voices down. He's a privateer.
Okay, Dad.
Look,
That's
just be.
a legal distinction, not a distinction in kind or.
He has a writ from the Open Lord that says that he is a lawful member of our society.
Listen, he would be a member of our society even if he was just a regular pirate.
Lawful member.
Okay, Dad.
I don't know. I've got to detect chaos and law scroll here somewhere that I think.
He just kind of chuckles and says, sometimes you make friends and go different paths of lives, but it's nice to reconnect every now and then. I'm sure you've run into similar circumstances with your friends as well.
Oh, yeah.
Life is complicated.
Oh, it sure is.
But surround yourself with people that when you need help, you know they'll show up. And Captain Zod will show up.
What could you do with 25?
Is it the fact that they're drow that's important, or is it the fact that they can do magic?
It's the magic. It's the magic. 25 people.
Well,
Hey,
let me know if you. Yes.
you're not gonna tell. You're not gonna tell Lady Petrus about this, are you?
I don't see the need to report just a standard watch officer responding to a crime in the city to Lady Petrus. It seems beneath the care of a diplomat.
You're not gonna tell her that my house blew up?
He gestures at the keys and says, "You have a house."
All right.
It's not my job to report your life to Lady Petrus. It's on you.
Ugh. It's not gonna happen, but ugh.
There's another knock at the door, and you actually see one of the guards you recognize from the other night. It's Church Chatsworth. Because, sir, sorry to interrupt, but was summoned from the open Lord. Apparently, there's another small council meeting, and they're requesting your presence. And he nods and says, "Of course, I'll be there momentarily." Well, back to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Lavinia, is there anything else you need?
No. I might go into the house, your house, at some point today and get some of the stuff that I left there when I moved out almost 2 years. Wow. Like a year ago. Since all of my stuff, except for what I'm wearing, is...
I'll let them know you're coming. And hey, here's a question, just out of character. Because you guys have an odd relationship, to say the least.
Yeah.
Just
a weird one.
What is your like expression of like, I don't know, feels or affection? Like, is your dad like a fingers gun, like, all right, kids, see you later kind of dude? Or like, what is the equivalent of like a hug from your dad look like?
So they did used to hug.
It's been a minute though.
Yeah, they did used to hug. It is a lot more of like a hand on the shoulder now type of thing, ever since Lavinia kind of got a little bit older. And it was before she lost her arm, for sure. It was like when she was like trying to make a name for herself in the watch herself. There was definitely a distinctive kind of
break off and be like, I'm not riding your reputation to success. I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah. So there's definitely... It's definitely more of like a hand on the shoulder type of a situation.
I think that's what happens here. Is he reaches out and like puts a hand on your shoulder and like gives you a little squeeze and just says, "Take care of yourself."
You too.
B, if you need anything, just don't hesitate to ask. You're a good friend.
Thanks. Thank you.
And turns and leaves.
I think B sort of sits there for a second, and then she sort of looks at the mini and is like,
I like your dad. He seems like a good dad.
He is a good dad. He raises me all by himself.
He did a good job.
You hear as he's walking off, he does say one more thing.
Fuck, he heard you.
No, I forgot to say this, and it would be relevant.
He just sticks his head back in and we freeze.
just like,
No, you see, you hear from the other side of the tent flap, just, oh, and please send a sending to Advin. He's been aggressive in trying to make sure you're okay. And just walks off.
You didn't send a sending to Advin? I sent one to CW like immediately.
Why would I send one to Advin? Why?
Isn't he like your boss? What is he? He's like always around.
What is he?
Technically, I'm a deputy on a specific task force, but he's not my actual boss. Like,
Okay.
boss. The half orc who I reported to yesterday is my actual boss.
Right. Okay. So why is he always around? Oh, I know why he's always around.
Listen. He's whatever. I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now. And Lavinia will.
You don't have to. You've got nothing to prove to him.
Lavinia literally just is standing there in front of Bee, takes out the sending stone to Edvin, and she goes, "Good morning. I lived."
Short, sweet, no notes.
Cool. Okay. You send that off and get an immediate sending back. Is very much the how are you? What happened? Where are you? Just the like I am concerned as your friend. Like your house burned down. Do you need anything? Like just the whole list of things.
Lavinia kind of just like listens to it and just goes, I'm fine, thanks. I'll see you at the office later.
A little like text bubble, thumbs up. Okay.
But he's fine.
Oh, yeah, super fine. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. You are left to your morning at this point. You can see that the guards are going around and they're talking to people, and you can see that they're, as you overhear parts of the conversation, they're talking about like helping people coordinate the stuff they were able to like get out of their houses over to more like permanent lodging or hotels until they can get resettled somewhere in the city. But you basically realize that like these tents were just put up on this like on the streets a couple blocks away, in like a kind of open area. And now that like the markets and things are starting to open up, they're trying to say like, hey, we're gonna move you to like hotels now and get you set up somewhere. Eventually, like come back to your tent and say, what little clipboard said, you four have already coordinated lodging, correct?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Good. Do you have any bags or items or need transportation?
Is there any possibility we can see if there's anything left in our home?
Yeah, I really wanted to actually go check and see about the foundations. Be like pulls out like her it's her magic focus, but it's like a rod, like a measuring rod that like telescopes out into like a basically like a meter stick.
Hell yeah.
And she's like, I just really wanted to check out like the foundations and make sure like everything's okay because like a fire that's that hot can do a lot of problems to like the mortar in the street and like
Yeah.
if any of those buildings had sub basements, it could be a big itch.
She's in the Masonry Guild.
Oh yeah, that's sub basements. After 5 o'clock today, the scene should be fully processed, and you're welcome to go back and see if there's anything you can recover. There'll be guards there to try to help you there.
What time? What?
What time is it now?
It's still early morning. Still need a few hours to finish the investigation.
Right, of course.
Fine. I really wanted to measure the basements of that place. I really want to get down that. I've always been interested in what's below the house.
Madam Ethelwhite never let you in the basement?
Of course, she didn't let me in the basement.
Did you ask?
Yes. She thought I was up to something.
Well, I mean, I guess
a very suspicious face. People always think I'm up to something.
I can't imagine why.
I just want to measure stuff.
The guard says, if you do have anything you need moved or transportation, fill this out, turn it over into the sergeant, but it has to be before noon. We have to break these tents down to open up for the market. But if your accommodations fall through, we can also move you to hotel accommodations.
Oh, what a day!
Oh,
What a
hello!
lovely day!
Hello, welcome, raiders. Our house just burned down.
Our house burned down. I coldly rejected my coworker's concern for my well-being about my house burning down.
The situation
And we
ship.
talked to Lavinia's hot dad.
Talked to my hot dad. I was cold to my situationship. Our house burned down. We gotta find Bee some stuff to measure.
Oh yeah, all my clothes are gone. I really liked that dress. Shit.
Yeah. We
I should
gotta.
probably tell my actual boyfriend that, I'm okay. I did tell him that I'm okay, but it was like a messenger bird.
But you should reiterate.
I should reiterate. I should go see him.
He's already offered you, you can just stay at his place as long as you need to.
Sweet. That is 100% her plan. Like,
Mhm.
I'm absolutely not staying in Cop House Central. Are you kidding?
Castle Ward. You don't want to be up
Castle?
there where all the hoity-toity suckers are.
Although I don't need those bitches in my business.
It's just lodging for nobles and diplomats and that other people who decide to come in from out of town.
Yeah, how many clairvoyant spells are on that room?
Either all of them or none of them, depending on
On who's about to stay in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, Girl by Moonlight, hell yeah.
Oh, fun.
Love Girl by Moonlight.
So that's a good system. Well, welcome to the party. So yeah, you have the day. I guess this is a good kind of admin session where our players have a lot of threads they're trying to catch up on it since their house burned down last session.
Well, I guess I should go to the tower?
I guess the tower, or we could go back to Troll Skull Manor, or actually, can I go with you to the tower?
Sure, what do you need there?
I mean, your perspective of the report would be helpful.
Yeah, Justin,
had
fucking
fun.
grip it and rip it,
Well,
baby!
Thank you.
Slop that
Thank
down,
you.
dude!
Thank you so much.
Yeah, dude, crack one for the big boy.
Much appreciated.
Not only does that go to charity, but also gives the players some advantage points that they can use.
Ooh.
Yay.
So back up to 9 already? Holy cow.
Yeah, that's because people were watching us almost get our asses beat by your big ass spiders, and they felt bad for us last session.
That was a perfectly balanced encounter.
I was almost fully eaten twice. I was
Perfect.
only saved by my extra dimensional pet rock.
Perfectly balanced, no nuts.
Um,
And Rock likes you.
The rock does love me, thank you.
it's a
We're
good,
friends.
it's a good rock, Brent. So I've been trying to figure out some stuff with this whole Advar magic thing, and oh hi, honey.
I've returned. And you see he's slightly smoldering, but also he's a little bigger. His tusks are a little longer. And his for those who's playing along at home, a bright gold hollyphant with white wings and a little bit of celestial radiance pops in at the name Advar. But it's gone from the size of a corgi to the size of I don't know, probably a shepherd maybe. Just a little bigger, a little beefier.
Oh, Suda's gonna be furious.
Hey, did you get a manicure? You look good.
Spits out the tip of an arrow. See, we vanquished our foes. Thank you,
We
Bee.
sure did.
Excellent.
Mostly
Now we
Brindle did, actually. Brindle took out 2 of those spiders.
I have no doubt in his combat prowess.
Pretty incredible.
He was an effective member to double team those adversaries with.
Yep.
Advar.
Sure was.
I may have pretended to be a spider priestess goddess thing to get the spider princess to eat the drider. Is that gonna be bad? Is Tyr gonna hold that against me?
And he like kind of looks up and goes, well, you did lie, but it was for a greater good and justice. I would caution that in the future, but in that instance, I believe it was acceptable.
Has Tyr been paying attention to me every time I lie?
I mean, I do have to tell people about what I do down here.
Have you been paying attention to every time I lie?
It,
You do know that's part of my job, right?
you know how for humans, and if you sit for an extended period and your leg starts to feel funny, I feel that when that happens.
So if I said right now, my other arm grew back. You're tingling.
Uncomfortably so, yes.
Bee.
I don't know, man. I'm a wizard. Books don't do shit like this. That's why I became a wizard. No offense, Oddvar. You're really cool, but
Oh, none taken.
you know,
I would become a gnome if I could.
being
I'd
a
keep the
gnome
wings, though.
actually rocks.
I would certainly
No,
keep
no.
the wings.
Yes, yes. Being a winged gnome would rock harder because
Hmm.
then I could be taller than ass height in this human city, which does kind of suck, if I'm gonna be honest.
It's an unfortunate perspective.
It's not the best.
There's no
Anyway,
there's no grand tally. There's no quarterly report, if you will, Lavinia, but it is noted.
Listen, as we've discussed before, I don't technically serve him. I work with you.
does the Church of Tyr have the right of confession?
Of course.
I'm not gonna I don't have time to deal with that knowledge.
It would be foolhardy to think that we could live an entire existence and never lie at all. Just be careful in how you use your words.
So be what I was saying before.
Yeah, about the tower and magic and stuff like that. I can talk about magic at length until like everyone falls asleep from it.
So the spell book thing,
Yes.
writing things down. I think I can do that.
Hmm.
So I wanted your feedback on doing that for ritual purposes, for comprehend languages.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I can show you how to do that. Actually, that's in my spell book as well. So I can show you how to um there's a kind of a metaphysical aspect to it as well. The act of inscribing it into a spell book is more than simply writing it down. It's more than just the mnemonic device. Actually, inscribing it provides you with a conduit to power that is probably a little more similar to the conduit that you have from Advar than anything else. So you're going to be essentially taking that same kind of uh, psychospiritual resonance and channeling that into the book uh, so that you can then draw that power from the book when you wish to cast the spell. I'll walk you through it.
Yeah. Okay. I think I got like, I want to be so for real, like 2/3 of that. So you're gonna have to go through the middle part. I think a little slower.
That's fine. That's fine. Most that's just background. I'll walk you through it. Let's go to the academy uh because I've got the nice ink there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you head out from the temporary temporary shelters. As you leave, the guards verify that you're indeed out, and they start breaking down those tents. Um, and
If
you
I
head
had
out.
anything with me, I probably I don't think I had stuff. None of my stuff survived. Like they don't let us back into the house yet to get our stuff.
No, not till later when we come back at
Okay.
what time did you say again? 5?
5:00.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
Oh,
basically
shit.
taking the day to. This was 100% arson, so they're taking the day to figure out like what happened here.
Yeah. So yeah, B will every so often be sort of like sending birds back and forth to Ollie, just being like, uh, um, "Hey man, I am alive. No, I'm fine. I'm alive."
I'm gonna roll a
Um,
die. Is that a nat 20? Hell yeah, it is. He sends you back some. What would make he sends you back some like very a couple of like, oh, I'm so glad you're okay, like those kind of messages, and then once you're just talking, starts trying to just send you like very cheesy dwarven poetry,
Aw,
um,
Sweet love
because
you.
it's just like your day is absolute shit right now, and like I've got food and some mead or some heavy ale waiting for you when you get back, but here's just some like dumb rhyming shenanigans. A couple of them are pretty inappropriate that he sends you. There's a couple rhymes with rock that he's just like for later.
mhm, mhm,
But a lot of them
mhm.
are very cheesy and cute.
Aw, that's sweet. I think B will every so often like respond in kind, like while she's doing stuff, sort of like sending back uh you know similarly just cheesy bad poetry, as B is not a poet, not a skill that she particularly has. Um,
Is he getting ready for the race?
Yes, that is definitely what these messages are about. Is ship stuff.
Well, tell him I said good luck with his boat.
Will do. Will do. Yeah.
You guys arrive at the. Hold on, I gotta do the thing. There we go.
there we go.
Ah, all right. You guys
Just
arrive at the academy, and actually, since it was pretty early, you'd actually catch Silas walking into work. And he says, "Oh, morning, Bee.
Good morning.
Lavinia, good to see you again. How's your night?
Morning. Huh?
How's your night? Oh, I apologize. I must have missed a joke somewhere.
Where do you live? What part of the city do you live
Yeah.
I live in the trade ward.
in?
Okay.
I've invited Bee over a few times.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we live in the uh s- some drow fucking burned our house down last night. They showed up with giant phase spiders and tried to eat me.
A whole ass drider.
A whole ass drider. I've never seen a drider. I've never seen a drider
This-
outside of Volo's books.
Is this
I
a,
wish I had never seen a drider. I'm gonna be entirely honest with you. If I never see another drider, it will be too fucking soon.
this isn't a joke?
Nope.
Silas, am I funny? Have I ever been funny?
Oh God, I'm so sorry to hear about your house. And as you're
All my stuff.
walking across the campus, he says, "B, if you need a place to stay, I have a guest room. You are more than welcome to stay there until you get these things resolved."
B like sort of like pats his elbow and is just sort of like,
I really appreciate it. I'm going to be staying with CW,
Of course.
but I really do appreciate the offer.
So
It was such a bad night. It was so bad, man.
I can cover for you if you need to go home or that to take if you
No,
need to
no.
take care of things.
Absolutely. I might take you up on that. They were not going to let us actually, because it was full arson, they're not going to let us back to like try to get our stuff until like 5 o'clock. So at this point, I'm just like, well, I might as well study. I still got to go talk to Professor Aronson about the astral plane stuff.
Mm,
It's been a hell of a 48 hours.
clearly.
Yeah.
Well, um,
How was your night?
much calmer. Um, well, I've already written up a draft to turn into um the Black Staff, but I'll yeah. Please let me know if you need anything, and I'm gonna go see Rory and then kind of get to work on the they're looking for interconnectivity tests today for the different runestones.
Right.
That doesn't have to be your problem right now, but that's what I'll be working on. So when you have time, just stop down. I'll show you kind of where we're at.
Oh yeah, I'd love to check on that because that's um
Still in the phase 0. We're working on the actual links themselves, but
yeah.
looks promising.
Do we have like an um do we have like review clearance for the use of all this enchantment magic?
Off campus, no,
Okay. Okay.
but it's kind of a double-edged sword, if you will. There's no sense in submitting for the review until we can show the technology works, and there's no case study of working technology yet, so there's no reason to submit for the review. It's still in testing.
Right.
But yes, if we were to take this off of campus, not cleared for like general populace use yet.
Yeah. Right. Um okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm like a thousand different places at the moment. I'll see you later.
Understandable,
Uh we're gonna go inscribe some spells.
of course. Oh, good luck. And he heads off into one of the other like side lifts and disappears up into the tower.
Hmm. Yeah, so we're doing some magic that has is going to be really really cool. Like it's really cool magic. It's like this combination of like enchantment magic and some abjuration magic, and it's a whole bunch of like sort of like semi-permanent like enchantments, like mass enchantments, like large groups of enchantments that could be really really useful in terms of um uh like morale and like sickness and crowd control and mental manipulation and other potentially huge fucking problems. So,
Yeah, half of what you said sounds fine. Half of what
right?
you said is illegal.
It's direct violation of the code legal.
Yeah.
like go before the masked lord's kind of illegal.
Oh,
Mhm.
totally. And the stuff we're actually researching is not that. I'm going to be super clear. The stuff we're researching is things like preventing seasickness on boats. Like that's specifically the example set that we're using this for is like, can we prevent have kind of like mass or like balance correction on boats. That's a specific use case. It's not, it's a hop, skip, and a jump. It's not once you kind of get the juice flowing. Like, I hate a slippery slope argument, but in this case, it's just not that many strokes of the pen different.
I mean, something Lavinia would know that, like, to clear something like that for general use in the public, you'd probably need the open lord to actually sign off on it.
And if they're developing it here at the Blackstaff, which is overseen by the Open Lord's husband,
Could be a conflict.
That
Could
she
be.
used to be the
She used to be the
head
open lord
of, like
yeah.
she was the former Blackstaff.
yeah.
So
This doesn't seem like the kind of thing that you get this far in with this being a new project. This has probably been going on for a while, huh?
I mean,
B, do you want to roll Arcana?
yeah, I do want to roll Arcana. Where's my dice box?
I would be curious to know if this is the type of thing that was being worked on before or after Lord Neverember went missing.
Ooh, excellent question. And I can't find my dice box.
No.
So...
Well, Owlbear's open. You want to roll on the cursed dice in Owlbear?
No, I'll roll the less cursed dice on my phone. Thank you very much.
All right.
Ha! See, that's why I rolled these dice, because that's a 19 on the die.
We got what, 26?
Plus my Arcana, which is going to be a... now I have to do math. 16.
Math.
26, I'm sorry. 16. 26.
Yeah. You're not sure when this development started, but the fact that they have like concrete working prototypes that they're testing for interconnectivity means that someone conceived the idea, drew up the schematics, and built this thing and ran it through multiple phases of testing to show that like the nodes are stable. And now they're working for interconnectivity. Like this has probably been at least a year in the works.
And when was Neverember? When did Silverhand become Open Lord?
A year ago.
About a year ago? Okay.
It's all been a year. It's been a hell of a year.
It's been a hell of a year.
I mean, 20 years ago, Neverember was overseeing the Silver Marshes campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Brought him a lot of popularity when everyone won.
so this has been about a year, at least. Unless they were on a lot of stimulants. Or an elf. But yeah, no, this kind of work, this must have been at least a year. I can go and look when I go check things out. I can go look at the earliest papers and see like when the project actually started. Like I should have access to all of those schematics.
It might be worth looking at. It might be worth seeing who proposed it in the first place.
Do I know that?
At the moment, no, but you were given access to all of Rory's files.
Right. Oh, right. I kind of have Rory's job right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As you walk inside, as you know, the atrium kind of changes daily, mostly because all the raw magic in here just kind of shifts and alters it. And then there's kind of a period of reset and part of a period of like just update. So right now, the atrium, as you walk in, is actually kind of got these like nice Corinthian columns and like white marble vibes with like occasional just splashes of odd colored like runes and like strange juts of like asymmetrical shapes that have been like kind of willed into existence and dispersed throughout the tower's like magical dispersion design. All harmless, but creates a very interesting kind of chaotic but orderly vibe in the lobby. And the security officer is actually uh, in kind of a almost argument with somebody standing at the front desk. And you see it's kind of hard to tell, but it looks like an older gentleman with like white hair back in like a ponytail, with these like very thick glasses, who's wearing these nice, elegant blue robes, um, or like more like noble fashion, I should say, blue and gold. And you recognize Carson, the asshole security director, talking to this guy and saying like, "I'm sorry, sir, if you're not an actual member here or escorted by somebody who is a member of the academy, you cannot simply walk through the building and talk to whoever you want to. This is a sensitive area. There are students here. Like, we take our campus security very seriously. You certainly can't just walk in and talk to Archmagi Arunsun whenever you want." And the gentleman slams a fist on the desk and he's like, 5 days. Letters, sendings, nothing. 5 days I have not heard from my sibling. And you're telling me, as I walk in and say, "Where the hell is Karis?" You don't know. "Oh, they're on a trip." They're on a trip, right? I've already filed a missing persons report. So either you let me in or I come back with the watch.
The watch is here.
And he turns and like looks at the two of you. You see it be like, you see the resemblance.
Yeah. What's Karis's surname? I was just about to go look that up.
Corbett.
Corbett.
This is, as you remember from the newspaper that was published just yesterday, although it's been forever. This is Gideon Corbett.
Oh, you're Professor Corbett's brother.
Yes, I am. Who? Do we know each other?
No, but I knew Professor. Well, I've taken over a few of Professor Corbett's projects.
Why do you say new? Something happened?
Well, I don't know why I said new. That's a good question. Why do we choose the words we chose? Uh, as far as I know, they're still alive. Like I like I don't know any different that they're not other than that they're on a trip. Uh, I've seen nothing to the contrary.
Maybe you'll understand my concern more than him.
B kind of makes a little face of like, yeah, probably will.
when
step
Karis
aside.
travels, we talk, right? Not about work, but just in general, we talk.
Hmm.
So, the first time in probably a decade, Karis is off on a trip and doesn't respond to sendings or letters or any type of communication that I can think of. And I'm a little concerned. I know everyone keeps telling me it's a trip, but they'll be back soon. But something's not right here. And nobody, points at Carson, seems to care. So if you could somehow alleviate my concerns with something more than she's on a trip and will return for Academy Business and will return as scheduled, I would deeply appreciate that. Otherwise, I will have to ask the watch to execute on a search for missing persons.
I do understand. I do understand. It's
unnerving. Do you, other than the fact that they would have reached out to you, and again, I'm not asking this to like cast doubt or aspersions upon any of your extremely legitimate feelings, but other than a feeling or a this change in behavior of them not speaking to you before they left, what is there anything else that makes you think that there might be something else going on? Have you received?
We were supposed to meet for dinner, and Paris never showed. Never talked about going out of town.
Hmm.
I've got a key. I went to her place. Usually I watch her cat when she's gone.
Mhm.
Nothing.
Hmm.
And you know the odd thing? No bags packed either.
Hmm.
So again, he like looks directly at Carson. I'm asking, where's my sister? If something happened, I'm her emergency contact. I have every right to know.
I think I'm going to be straight with you. I am a graduate student. I
Then
cannot
I,
speak
then I
for the.
apologize for putting all this on you.
I'm sorry you're in the situation. I can't speak for the Black Staff Academy, but I can say that I can try to talk to who I know how to talk to. Um, if you're and maybe you and I can meet. Um, oh God, what is today?
24th
24th
When is the next big stupid heist thing we have to
tonight.
tonight.
Cool. uh, maybe we can meet. I can meet with you tomorrow night. Uh, maybe you and I can meet. Um, and I can tell you what I found. If I found anything. Because it
Agree.
is entirely possible. But ideally, what I'm hoping that I will find for you, if I'm being entirely honest, is some sort of proof that she is in fact excuse me, that they are in fact on a just on a trip on a different plane, which is why sending isn't working. And um, their body is being taken care of here. Uh, which is why they wouldn't have packed anything. Because that is entirely possible. We have sealed rooms in the case of extra dimensional travel. That this is a possibility, but
Uh, make a persuasion check and advantage.
okay. I think Bee's really not trying to persuade this guy. She's really just thinking out loud.
Mhm. But
Um,
you're saying rational things as opposed to Carson being like, "Fuck up, I can't help you."
right. Um, well, what I rolled was a 6.
With
And what
advantage?
Oh, with advantage. Okay.
Mhm.
Right. That second roll was a natural 20, baby.
Hey!
Um,
Talk some sense to the man.
You
Yeah,
see
B's just sort of like thinking out loud of like,
on a nat 20, you see something that both gives you a great sense of relief and also keys you into something that was way more dangerous in this situation than you expected.
Mhm.
And that is that he says, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, and I yes, I would love to sit down with you and have that conversation. I'd also ask if there's a way I can get on Mr. Arun's son's books. I would love if you could help me with that as well. But Thank you. That is more reassuring. The thing you see is that the more angry he was getting, he was starting to make what you can identified as a very subtle arcane gesture with his hands. Um, he saw no magic, um, but he was getting angry, and your warning bells went off in your head.
You know I want to roll Arcana about this.
You are more than welcome to.
I gotta roll Arcana about this. That is a 21.
Some people who are
Oh,
not
no, I'm sorry,
trained,
23. I
even
add
better.
+7 now.
Some people who are not trained in the discipline of magical arts but experience high bouts of emotions can indeed channel magic. That's why the Academy doesn't like sorcerers. They're dangerous
Oh no.
because they let their emotions drive their magic. You didn't see any magical channeling, but man, oh man, if this dude get angry enough, you're like, I think something bad would happen here.
Cool, 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 cool. Cool, 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 cool. So yeah, B's gonna like look at that, is going to try to let nothing show, which means that her face with a charisma of 10 means she probably goes like, yeah,
Me,
yeah,
cool, cool, no doubt, no doubt.
cool, 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 no doubt, no doubt.
Lavinia thought everything was fine right up until B does that, and then she's just like, "What the fuck?"
I'll see what I can do. Like I said, grad student, but I'm sure there's an explanation, and I will do everything I can to make sure whatever explanation I get to you.
His posture kind of relaxes and says, he hands you a little card and says, when you are free between today and tomorrow, send me a letter. I'll meet you wherever you need.
Thank you.
And she will sort of raise the card, sort of tuck it into her sleeve, and sort of gesture, say,
My office is back this way.
to Lavinia.
The
And
the card also says Gideon Corbett, um, lead shipyard safety inspector.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Uh
like she like looks at that, like she just sort of says that again, that's fully in character. Oh, you're the shipyard safety inspector. Yes. Good. Good. Good.
Is that actually good? Is that,
And
is that actually?
B's going to like sort of keep on going. She's like,
Who is that?
huh?
Who is that?
Oh, well, the shipyard safety inspector is kind of the guy who I would get into a lot of trouble with if he knew I broke into a whole bunch of different ships like a year and a half ago and stole a bunch of like just the clappers out of people's like ship's bells. So
Every
really,
part of the backstory is relevant.
uh, so I have been trying to keep like a low profile there because there's a bunch of people who do know, in fact, that I did do that. Uh,
That's the kind of thing you boast about after you succeeded doing it, isn't it?
oh yeah, somebody gave me a belt made out of all of the actual bell clappers. Like, I
Drunkenly, like
have that.
ringing the bell in the shining sail
Yeah. Oh
for
yeah.
free
No.
drinks.
Yeah. That's like a whole. It's like a whole thing. So
Well,
you
if
know,
you
I am really
find,
incented to find Professor Corbett.
yeah, that could write off a lot of bad will.
That's what I'm saying. Also, I'm going to be entirely honest with you, Lavinia. I think there's something kind of fucked up about his siblings' disappearance.
You did obliquely mention that to me briefly a few days ago.
Yeah. But I'm really glad I didn't let him know that because I'm pretty sure he might be a sorcerer and he might have blown a hole in the side of the academy and that would have been real bad. So we're just gonna keep on keeping on.
We can't have anything quiet happen anymore, can we?
It does feel that way, doesn't it?
I'm
Like
gonna blame Sergio.
I think we should blame Sergio.
Sergio appears. Not kidding.
Fuck you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Did Advar come with us into the building, or did he go somewhere else?
I feel like Advar would have ghosted out at a certain point, unless you don't want him there.
Yeah, I feel like the university has like signs posted about like extra dimensional figures like having to be like registered at the front desk for their
Authorized familiars only.
authorized familiars only.
I don't know. He got to go to the astral plane, so
He did. He's got prior authorization.
It's true. Well, because Kelvin was just like, yeah, whatever.
Kelvin was like, because he appeared in the room, and at that point, what was he gonna do? Tell the celestial being no?
Well, it's like, oh, Hollyfont? Yeah, useful as hell. Come on, dog.
Yeah.
Like, what, you can like explode things with radiant magic? Come on, yeah, come along.
Party.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think B will go like show Lavinia how to transcribe a spell, like while B is sort of transcribing some of the spells that she's learned.
Yeah, Lavinia picks up on it pretty quick. She clearly has magical like talent, so the formula you talk through may still sound insane to Lavinia at the end of the day, but like when you start putting it on paper and doing it, it's like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Like I can do these things. Like that makes perfect sense. And like this is how you use like these are the different energy conduits, and here's where the okay, yep. You know,
It's a little bit like the math behind or like the physics behind any kind of building. It's the theory is extremely complicated. The practice is actually pretty simple. Like it's pretty intuitive.
yeah.
The math is hard. The practice is easy.
I mean, I'll take your word on that. I don't have any prior experience to building buildings either, so. But I will take your word for it. Our life experiences don't lend a lot of comparison.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's a similar thing in policing. And I really don't think there is, because it seems like everything involved in policing is actually really fucking complicated because you're dealing with people and people kind of suck.
It's a lot of physical. It's a lot of physical. It's a lot of people dealing with, which is like mentally draining in a capacity. There's also the element of specialization. So like when you do start getting into the math and all of that, that's usually a very specific person's job. That's not generally a cross training thing.
Speaking of kind of cross training, I'm picturing you in Roy's office, right?
Yeah,
because there's a little more space and you've got the keys to it. So after you kind of walk Lavinia through how to scribe these scrolls, which Lavinia, you can now scribe the scrolls you were looking for. Remind me what scroll it was again before I just blanket sign off on craziness.
It was just comprehend languages, because I had that as a regular spell, but now that I have the ability to transcribe things thanks to my level up Eldritch evocation, I would like to swap that out with something else.
Oh, yeah. It does cost you the standard I think 50 GP.
The 50. I have already set that aside for this purpose.
If you want to transcribe anything from my spell book, you can go ahead and look at that if you want.
I don't think I can afford to do that, but maybe.
The ink used in transcribing is extremely expensive because it's very precise.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think I think I do have the goal to do it probably a few more times, but
And B, you would know that is actually like, I want to say measured, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like Brando would come down and be like, "What the hell? Where's this vial of like ink? This is like a 200 gold vial of ink that's gone missing."
This
Yeah.
is very much something that like comes out. It's like one of the reasons like I am paid like a stipend, but
Mhm.
like part
Yeah.
of why that's totally okay is that I get access to some of this stuff for my own spell books, but not
Yeah.
Not
I'm
guests.
I could do it again, but then I would be getting really low on the money that we got from the first heist. So, and I
Sounds
don't
like,
get paid until the start of the next month. So,
sounds like you need another heist to bolster your income.
seems like
seems like
Mhm.
Um,
Maybe next session.
maybe.
So I think one of the things that Bee would have done once she was back in the building and like as we're sort of doing the scribing stuff is end up sending like just a message to the black staff, just being like uh basically just inquiring at like just like, is there a time in your schedule for us to do the debrief today?
You send a message. He responds almost immediately and says, come up at the top of the hour."
Okay.
So you look at the clock. It's like 9:30 right now.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, you have access to Rory's office and her files.
Cool. So I am going to also be sort of looking through those files about like when did this project start? When did this enchantment magic project start? And who signed off on it?
You have a runestone that you kind of move over a filing cabinet, open it up into nothingness. As you know that like all the files are stored in basically an X-dimensional space and they're transferred between authorized users. So if
Mhm,
you can't summon a file without having the correct runestone.
mhm,
Um,
mhm.
so you start kind of pulling some of Roy's old files, and like some of them are like, okay, research into different evocation accelerants. Like some of them are like a couple like papers that she's graded with like just tons of red lines and inks and ink on it. It's been like archived for students who haven't passed courses because they didn't understand like transmutation theory. And after a while, you dig up something called the Tranquility Project, and
I already hate it.
you open up this file. It's actually like a large like folder, and you start pulling out schematics and diagrams that look very similar to the rune that's sitting on Rory's desk.
Mhm.
And they match pretty well. But yeah, there's all sorts of like case notes and like test studies on like different like the magical kind of like measuring the volume and amplification of magical effect and like all the toggling for maximum effectiveness and then making sure that like people are not overwhelmed or um kind of sickened by the like arcane radiance that comes from it, right? Because too much can make you nauseous, too little is not effective, that kind of stuff. And then eventually like zero in on like, hey, this is what a standard like runestone that can project this type of magic would look like, and then the like design notes.
Does this read like case studies, like live testing, or does this read like a literature review of like of like dungeon delving and people seeing this stuff and like
This
prior experience with similar magic?
this reads like a case study where it kind of goes in chronological order. So the most recent
Mhm,
stuff is on the front.
mhm,
Um,
mhm.
and all the way to the back is like the hey project note, you know, 067-1624, and then eventually it's given a name and all this other stuff.
Whose project was it originally?
I need you to go ahead and make a investigation check as you're going through this case study.
Sweet. Since I'm here with an investigator, do I get advantage?
I guess.
I was gonna say I can help.
Hey.
Actually, it's kind of funny. Lavinia, so you can help in other ways. So you can still take advantage. But Lavinia, as you're like, as B is showing you notes from this case study, she's showing you blank pages.
Okay.
You're
The
not.
security's top notch.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that you would be able to necessarily read this stuff.
So that was 16. Yeah, 20. Dirty 20.
Okay. Two things pique your interest. The first one is, in fact, a letter from Lady Silverhand, directing research, not specifically for this, but a letter of caution and concern to the Academy at the sudden resignation of Dagel Neverember, and urging the Academy to use its resources to find ways to best support and enhance the stability of the city.
Resignation.
Resignation is an interesting line. Also, I am sorry. I really have to take a bio break.
Oh, yeah, let's do that then.
Ordinarily, I would not say that out loud, but there's only two of us here.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a 5-minute
So-
break.
We're amongst friends.
We're amongst friends here, and like,
The second thing I'll leave you on as we take a quick break is about 3/4 of the way through this case study, you see test number. The number is irrelevant, but it's much later. You see in parentheses first humanoid test run.
okay, neat.
And we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Roll back to it, honestly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, first humanoid experimentation.
Yeah, I would love to know the results of that particular experiment when it was first done with humanoids.
Mhm. Says lead arcanist, Rory Farafal. Secondary, Kelvin Rusan.
Okay.
Case notes. Volunteer test subject number 001, Karis Corbett. Due to legal parameters, testing cannot occur outside academy grounds. Tenured professor volunteered. Case notes. Successful test. Tested 5 different variations of emotional projection. All 5 successfully felt and acted upon. That's concluded.
Which variations?
It is not listed.
This is terrible note taking.
Mm-hmm. You notice with that 21 investigation, there are a lot of very detailed notes in this case file.
Mm-hmm.
The test notes are not that detailed. They start with basically the lead and secondary, a legal disclaimer, a note for who the test subject was, and whether or not the test was successful or a failure.
How often was the same test subject used?
Of the 10 times, 9.
Was it all Karis Corbett?
Yes.
Who was the 10th subject?
Rory. Lead
Who was the
arcanist,
lead?
Kelvin
Huh.
Rimson.
Who was the secondary arcanist?
The secondary arcanist was Professor Cillian Monagle.
Okay.
Lead enchanter.
That's the chick who bypassed the watch on the Solstrom case.
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you about her.
Yeah.
It does strike you as odd that an evoker was the one running these series of tests. This is enchantment magic.
It doesn't surprise me.
I mean, the professors are all cross-trained on the different schools, so like it's not that weird, but like you would expect to see Cillian's name in this case file a lot sooner if it was a primary enchantment-based study.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Kelvin specializes in all sorts of magic, so he can mitigate that risk. Maybe Murphy was busy.
Cillian Murphy
I'm
is the
sorry.
enchanter.
Cillian,
Cillian
Cillian Monagle.
Monagle, yeah.
Monagle. Okay.
I
Cillian
defaulted
Murphy
to
is
Actor.
the little Irish fuck.
Yes,
yeah,
the skinny little Irish fuck.
yes, whom I love very much, but is not that the correct character.
He's very good.
He is
Not
very
here.
good. We
Yes.
appreciate him.
He-
Interesting and concerning.
Mm-hmm.
B is just gonna sit here and look at this and is going to say through the sending like, oh, I think B is basically sending all of this information, just sort of like transmitting it to Lavinia through like the sending our link.
Okay, yeah.
And is going to say like, oh, I know. They're going to use this to try to make sure that the city doesn't revolt if and when it comes out that there's no fucking money.
From revolting, panicking, calling for an election.
I would hope it wouldn't be the last one, but I don't know Lady Silverhand.
By all accounts, she's a good and fair person. But so is Neverember.
The problem is we don't know these people. We know of them. We don't know them.
Your dad knows her.
I think we've established that my dad knows a lot of people. That doesn't necessarily mean his judgment is flawless.
Your dad has also deliberately not told you things that you picked up on.
Oh yes, I know. There's
your
that
dad-
too.
I mean,
Would your dad-
he kind of has to. He's kind of sworn to, like, he sees a lot of private conversations. He's not supposed to talk about those things, but he sees a lot of things.
Do you think
Just
you can
based
get
on
your
the
dad
company he
drunk and
keeps.
get him to shit talk your boss? Shit talk his boss?
Should talk Lady Silverhand.
Just give us an idea of what she's like. I mean, I could also just like smack Aronson up the side of the head with this information.
I
But,
don't
you know.
think that's the best use of the information. It's better to keep these things as a surprise.
The clock on the wall says 9:55.
I've got to go actually to that meeting right now.
Do you want me to go with you? Because otherwise, if I don't go with you, I'm just going to go in to deal with Advin.
Does he want to talk to Lavinia as well?
She was there. Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you come? That I know he wants to talk to you also.
I will go and talk to your boss if you come and with me afterwards and talk to my colleague.
I will do whatever the opposite of wingmanning is, because it seems like that's what you're after. When it comes to,
I just think he'll believe me more about the fact that it's fine if he sees that I have a cooperating witness.
what do you want to have happen here? I assume we're like walking and talking. Like, what's your like desired outcome here?
Listen, he just assumes that when I say I'm fine, that's just like my default. He doesn't believe me when I say I'm fine because I say I'm fine about everything. So if I say I'm fine after my house burned down, he's not gonna believe me. But if he sees that you are walking around also on your own volition, we'll be okay.
Neither of us are anything like fine. Let's get that one like fully straight. Neither of us are anything like okay.
I mean, I don't know. I've got a lot of answers that I didn't have like a couple months ago. So like I feel like I've got some kind of like validation and closure.
It just cost you your house.
Just cost me my house.
It just cost you your fucking house.
Yeah, but like
Scotch.
I don't know.
It's
Listen,
look,
moving out of my dad's house cost me an arm. Finding out why I lost my arm.
I feel like those two things were actually unrelated.
Cost me a house. I don't know. Listen, I just
be on this one.
listen.
I'm just suggesting.
Mhm.
And I'm not making a judgment here, but just kind of suggesting
Mhm.
from like as a person who's not interpersonally like great at stuff,
Mhm.
you might want to figure out what it is you want from whatever the fuck that is. Do you want him to think you're fine? Or do you want him to think you're like, fine?
You said the same thing.
Do you want to see him without his armor on?
I've done that. I've done
The
that.
clothes underneath as well.
I've also done that.
Really? Damn.
Yes.
All right.
Several times.
Huh.
Man, what a terrible time to not have an NPC in a conversation.
Yeah, did you did you hook up? Or was this just like a locker room situation? Like, it's none of my business. I don't like care. I like I'm just nosy.
It happened a few times in a few places. But the thing is, the last time it happened, I told him it was the last time. Every time before that he said it was the last time, it never was. And I mean it when I say these things.
So this is more of a you're in or you're out, and you've decided he's out.
If that'd be wildly inappropriate for a watch commander to hook up with a sergeant, it would actually be okay for a commander and a deputy. There's not a this the rank dispersion is not nearly as egregious.
Go away, Oddbar.
Yeah, B does not know that. There is no universe where B has any awareness of that.
Oh no, but Lavinia is very aware of it.
Yes, this is true. Anyway, it's not what's important right now.
I mean, it's not important, but like, it's not, you know. I know what I look like, but I am, in fact, a lot older than you. And uh life doesn't stop just because shit's gotten really fucking weird. And if you act like life has stopped just because shit has gotten really weird, you'll never live. So you kind of do just have to, every so often, take 5 minutes in a hallway to talk about the stuff that doesn't matter, because otherwise, none of it matters. And that's my hot take. Pushes open the door to the black staff office.
Just having that little conversation in his little fuck ass little Zen
Alcove.
garden.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Honestly, sick knowledge, sick wisdom to drop. Hell yeah. You go into Rinson's office, right? The office's layout has changed again. This time he's just reviewing what looks to be like multiple journals on a desk. It's actually very sparse right now. That might be a little too spooky, but he has added in the background a kind of floor to ceiling windows for it to let in some light, and he looks up when you two walk in. Says, "Oh, good, right on time," and waves, and two more chairs appear. Says, "Please come sit."
We will do so.
Yep.
First of all, B and I guess both of you, I did hear some troubling news that there was an incident with your home. Is everything all right on that end?
No, Drow burned our house down.
If needed, the academy can help provide some lodging for you. Make sure that you're taken care of.
I very much appreciate that, but I think we're both situated.
Okay. If that does change for any reason, please let me know. Lavinia as well, and we can arrange for guest access to lodging. It would be more temporary for you, but I would not want to see either of you just situated.
I'm fine, thank you. I have secured myself lodgings and also for the others if they need it.
Of course. Hmm. So let's talk about Rainier and our experience yesterday in the astral plane. He's actually due back here later today, but I wanted to talk to you first. I'm concerned about potential anomalies.
How so?
Things aren't always what they appear to be in the astral plane. I want to confirm that Rainier is, in fact, of sound mind and body, and it is, in fact, him that returned, to put it bluntly. I'll acknowledge that we saw someone that appeared to be Dagalt Neverember in the astral plane as well. We want to confirm if that is actually him. There are many things that can take on different shapes in that place. Some of them clever enough to even read your thoughts and shape themselves accordingly.
Yeah.
But the tether. We followed the tether.
Mm-hmm. Of course. He waves his hand, and like two silver tethers just like appear coming off of you.
How easy would it be to spoof a tether?
It's certainly complicated, but it could be done.
How
There
how how
are.
e-
Please continue.
Sorry, how much easier would it be to spoof a tether of a blood relation?
Dramatically so.
I think the only hesitation there would be they would have to have known somebody would come for him. Up until very recently, Rainier's been a little bit secluded.
I'd like to work forward with the idea that it was indeed Rainier the entire time, and that was indeed Tangled Neverember. We had to rule out other possibilities first. So again, I ask anomalies.
Yeah, I think Riv was with him last night, what or the time when we got back. Um, I don't.
Up until the
Our house exploded. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Our house burned down. Drow burned my house down.
I'm sorry.
It's really not your fault.
No, it's my dad's fault, but I'm still
I
sorry.
mean, it's really not his fault either. He did kind of have to do with, that whole thing. I really want to know who pulled down that a cliff bell. But anyway, um, yeah. I would also we'll keep an eye on any anomalies. We can.
How are the two of you feeling?
I'm
Move,
going to be
move beyond
real.
the physical. I'm asking for a mental assessment of your current faculties. Any changes you've seen in each other since we returned?
I think if there was a problem with my mental faculties, I don't think I would have survived what I did last night. I don't think possibly any of us would if we were not able to be sharp and focused.
Yeah, I don't think there've been any changes. Nothing has really changed. No. I got some ideas about some new spells, but that's not strange.
No thoughts in your head that don't seem to be yours. No other voices conflicting with your own internal dialogue. Make a deception check, B.
Yeah, I'm pulling my thing up. 'Cause-
Lavinia, well, B has that internal struggle. Lavinia's just like, no.
It's a 3.
I rolled
A
a
3,
nat,
my dude.
rolled a nat 1.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Fuck yes. It's a great time for an NPC, that one.
In Cursed Owlbear of all things. You
Thank God.
sense as this is happening, like
I
you're
think
not-
what comes out of Bee's mouth fully
Mhm.
is the phrase, no more than usual.
Kelvin's eyes flash an odd arcane color, and you can see like he's using some type of magic. That's and he just kind of looks you over, and you actually feel a distinct, like you kind of are just set generally aware of like Green Rock and its presence. It vanishes entirely. And Kelvin kind of looks over Lavinia as well, and his eyes get back to their normal green color. Very good. Well, I'm glad to see both of you are doing well. Astral travel can have physical side effects as well, so if you find yourself feeling nauseous or not sleeping correctly, after a few days, those things should pass. If they linger, please come talk with me. If Lavinia, if you don't have any other questions, I'd like to speak with B for a moment. But please, if you have questions, now's the time.
Lord Neverember was kind of announced in this generalized way that he was missing or dead just by the nature of him blipping out of society's view and then being gone for a year. But that seemed very much to be him in the astral plane.
I agree with your assessment. I just want to be cautious and rule out other possibilities.
That was the qualifying statement. That wasn't my question. My question would be, what is the Academy's position on dealing with him? If that is him. Does the Academy have a position?
Legally, no. But it's in the best interest of the Open Lords and the City Council to know if he is still alive.
And if he is, would the Academy pursue him?
For what?
Abandonment of his post?
Resignation of an official office isn't a crime. Even if it's done in a, well, sloppy manner.
No, we're not a law enforcement agency. That's
Our main concern is why he would feel the need to disappear like that in the first place. Is there a threat to him? And if that threat further translates to the city, well, that's our concern. But he simply decided the stresses of the office were too much for him one day and walked away. My sympathies, but there's no concern or action the tower needs to take. I do, however, want to know if someone is masquerading with our previous Open Lord's face in the astral plane and causing trouble or potential chaos.
Lavinia, what's the greasy bitch's name? Do we know?
Delacar.
Delacar.
You guys are welcome to throw insight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nat 1, baby.
Hell yeah!
Trading them nat ones. Let me get back to insight. Insight is my insight is +4. Let's see what happens to you, buddy.
DC is a 19.
Cool. 23.
Okay,
Hell
you beat it.
yeah.
Um,
Bee's not even looking at Arenson. Bee's like looking at Lavinia like,
What's the greasy bitch's name? Delacar?
And Lavinia is still looking at the Blackstaff from when she was asking him questions. When she replies that it was Delacar.
He doesn't move. He doesn't flinch. His breathing doesn't change at all. He blinks for just slightly too long.
Because it was Delacar who like broke in and like dosed and like put Rainier under, right? Like that's what Riv said.
Correct.
So, and Delacar works for the Neverember family, is what Rainier said. So
That is correct. Yes. Delacar was their, for a better word, lead steward.
what? I'm sorry, Bella didn't
Was
hear
their lead steward,
you. Lead steward.
or their head steward, if you will.
Stewart.
Steward.
huh.
If he is involved, then that does dramatically increase the possibility that it is truly Neverember.
Well,
He's involved in starting some shit.
this is very true. It's been very.
He broke into our house and beat up our landlady. So we don't like him.
So he's been in the city for some time then.
Mm-hmm.
At least a few days.
Curious. How did he break in?
I don't know. We weren't there.
He, from what I understand, he had an altercation with one of our other roommates on the docks. I think he's petty enough to want some kind of comeuppance for that. I can roll deception if I need to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can lie about that because in your pocketbook is the reason why he broke in.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that. Green Rock is hiding. I'm gonna have to give Green Rock so much brain space.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. Okay, he kind of looks at you, Lavinia, for an extra second, and then just nods and seems to accept what you're saying. The docks are pretty ripe with altercations. Well, regardless, if you see him again, please let me know. He's here. I'd be curious to see what he's trying to follow through on.
Well, if I see him again, the intention is to arrest him. But short of that,
Of course.
yes.
I have no interest in interfering with official watch duties, but I would like to know where he is and what he's doing. At least if he's detained, he's less of a danger to Rainier. Well,
Well, I will leave you to it. B, I will be outside for when you're done.
Yep.
Sir?
Thank you for your time.
Hmm.
You Turn and leave. The chair disappears. The door closes. Kelvin looks at you, B, and just says, I appreciate you keeping our conversation private.
Of course. Said I would.
People say a lot of things. Action is a greater assessor of the quality of people.
I have some concerns.
Please.
Professor Corbett.
Yes, I heard her brother was down in the lobby today.
Yeah. Did you know he was a sorcerer?
I
I
was
don't know
aware.
that he knows he's a sorcerer. But shit almost went sideways down there.
Hmm.
It might not be a bad idea to, you know.
Mr. Corbett is a prime conduit of arcane power. That is true.
Where is Professor Corbett? They were working on Project Tranquility. They were the test subject 9 out of 10 times. We're about to run conductivity tests. And we have 2 data points. We have 2 data points. It would be extremely useful to have them back just like 4 better data points. B, it would be I kind of told him I would ask about it and ask around and give him something. That was before I knew he had any arcane ability, and so I'm glad I did something.
He looks you very directly in the eyes and almost like through you and says, you're now sitting in one of the positions of my senior professors. You're sitting in a position of trust. So I'm going to ask you, are you the right person for that position? Can I trust you? And what I mean by that is not to simply hold information, but to let things much greater than you weigh on your soul and keep them to yourself.
I think B actually looks a little bit offended by that. Blackstaff Aronson. I am a wizard. And I am significantly older than I look. I know a thing or two about allowing things to weigh on one's soul. And the consequences of revealing information.
Throw a persuade check and advantage.
All right.
As he's
Ooh.
just assessing you.
First roll's an 18.
Hell yeah.
Second roll was a 10. Gonna run with that 18 plus persuasion. Yeah, that's just an 18. That's a charisma roll, baby, and I ain't got it.
This stays between you and I. And with this information will come West as well. You are correct. Professor Corbett, well, has not traveled. They are in fact still here.
Are they the reason that Brando is stocking up on iron filings?
You're very observant. Yes.
You've already placed me in your trust. An explanation of why is not necessary, but it would give me context for this decision.
Neverember was able to remove the majority of the treasury under the council and the guards' watchful eyes. It's alarming that despite months and months of inspection, the loss was never detected. It was more alarming to find information about a non-sanctioned academy research project for enhanced vault security between Neverember and Corbett. Foremost skilled illusionist worked with our missing open lord sometime prior to his disappearance. And it seems that the vaults were slowly emptied, and yet not a single coin was out of place to the, well, untrained arcane eye. Neverember is a lot of things. He is not a wizard. Corbett is our key to understanding what happened here, where that money went.
They haven't given you much.
We've had a few breakthroughs.
Good memory hold that. Hmm.
Now, I realize all of the moral problems with this. I've accepted them.
Moral, legal.
I care deeply about this city. I really do. I doubt the watch would be able to keep Professor Corbett in custody for more than 5 minutes. They're not equipped for that. Which is why I need to know that truly was Neverember in the astral plane. Because I need to know what he plans next.
Does the current Open Lord know?
No.
How much does the current Open Lord know about Project Tranquility?
She's aware of the resources available to her should the city turn. Now that you've had a moment to process, I've told you the request. Simple. I need you to pay very close attention to Rainier. I feel something has been set in motion here. And whatever he was told by who I think was Neverember in the astral plane, simply a falling domino into greater effects. As for Gideon, we'll find a way to placate his concerns.
I told him that there's a possibility that she was uh being projected as we were, was engaging in some form of astral or spiritual travel, and it was possible her body was being taken care of here.
You can let him know that his sister will return tomorrow.
I would like the record to state I am not asking any questions about that.
Um, I have a question about Corbett. Does it seem like there are gaps in her memory, like that, in their memory, that they're struggling to over, that they can't seem to overcome? Like there's like just a gap.
Yes,
Interesting. Interesting.
several.
Interesting.
I don't have to stress to you how delicate this information is. The city is no more than a few days from a fiery revolt.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Oh yeah.
No, I've that's again 100% why I came to talk to you about it because I'm aware. I'm aware.
Corbett is the key to stopping that.
Yeah.
And allow me to be clear. This is not being done to protect the open Lord. I love my wife dearly. She
Yeah, I
has to
wouldn't.
resign in shame to keep this city running. That would be my first piece of advice to her. This is to protect every single person who will starve or be stabbed or trampled if chaos erupts.
I appreciate it. I've been married before. I would not have blamed you if it were, in fact, to protect your wife.
He just smiles and says, I'm not worried about her safety.
Yeah, no, neither am I. um
I do worry about what happens if the city ends up in flames. People will suffer. Nobles will rebuild. People with power will move on. Everyone else will suffer.
Yeah. I will let you know if I notice anything strange or anything different happening with Rainier. And I will let you know if we see the Delacar again. I might punch him a couple times first. If I can.
As long as he's in one piece.
Yeah, okay. And B B will yeah, basically say, is there anything else you need?
He's gonna look at you and he doesn't move, doesn't blink. Says, no, just your secrecy. Do you accept that?
Yes.
Please make a wisdom saving throw DC 25.
Sick.
And at disadvantage.
Sick. Wait. Wait. No. I get these at advantage
Because you're a gnome?
because I'm a gnome.
That's
I
true.
get
Okay, then it would
Fuck
be,
yeah, gnome.
it would baseline then.
Yep, baseline.
The reason why it would be a disadvantage is because you agreed to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I get it. Oh,
Dude.
no, it's not. It.
Do you want to use one of the advantages?
I do. I do want to use an advantage in the pot. I do. I do.
Okay.
Oh baby. Oh baby. Oh baby.
Oh.
Oh, it's so much worse.
Oh!
Oh,
The dice have decided.
the dice are telling a story, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
That first one, the second one was an 8 on the die, which was not going to get me there. And the first was a 12, which adds up to 20. No, it only adds up to 19.
Maybe 19.
Yeah, fuck. I don't really even not get all that close.
You see nothing, but when you say yes, you feel like almost like a lead weight in your stomach. Could be the anxiety. It says, Good.
I think B actually like looks like the last sort of thing, like only like piece of emotional content that like uh before she leaves is just like kind of like, again, just like hurt, just like, damn, dude.
This is actually very important. Because you failed that saving throw,
Mm-hmm.
there's no evidence that magic was used here.
Yeah, I get that, but like she knows. Like, oh, okay. I think there's a she'll forget as soon as she leaves the office.
Fair.
Like,
Um,
but I think there is just a look of like, just like a brief look of like, damn, dude. And when she walks away, she thinks everything's fine.
yep. And you leave. He wishes you the best. And the door closes behind. The last. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lavinia's just standing there by the Zen garden, like, hey, have a good talk.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's go do your deal with your advent thing. And then I gotta come back here because I gotta do these conductivity tests. And oh shit, do I have a class to teach?
I think you can
No.
be. I think you can get Silas to cover your class.
I think I can get Silas to cover my class. Yeah.
Silas will gladly cover your class for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Silas to cover my class for me tonight so that and then yeah, go out. But like this is gonna be a fun test of whatever the fuck Aronson just did, because like the first thing that B does is as they go out is like contact Green Rock and first of all just be like, thanks for having my back there.
It seemed easier to not have to explain the situation.
Yes, much. I owe you big time. Also, was this person ever one of your couriers? And like gives an image of Professor Corbett.
I have no recollection of that individual. But there are gaps I'm still missing. But no. Not to the best of my current memory.
They have gaps in their memory that are similar to the gaps in memory caused that seem to be well, I don't know, I didn't examine them myself. Anyway. So, yeah, let's go talk to Advin.
Yeah, let's go see how he's doing. I mean, I'm sure he's fine. He probably had a quiet night. I had been suggesting that we do one of the prison transfers last night, but that definitely fell through.
Oh, you would 100% know that Avin, like, your night was chaos, but his was also probably chaotic.
Yeah.
Because in an event of like a large scale like fire or other big city event, all the watch commanders would then start ordering other he was helping to coordinate, like, put the fire out. Not as bad as your night, but he certainly didn't.
Yeah, but like,
wasn't
here's
chilling.
the thing, like, I almost said Advin never has as bad of a night, and then I remember the fact that he went down twice in the sewer fight, so I can't really say that anymore. It's not true of him.
He did. He's gotten the shit kicked out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Evan takes that lead from the front thing seriously, and unfortunately, it gets sometimes it catches
Unfortunately,
up.
that means sometimes you get the shit kicked out of you.
You get
Mhm.
just fucking riggedy wrecked.
Yeah, let's go see how he's doing.
Okay. You head to a restaurant in the trade ward, catching a kind of carriage across town. And pro- prompt as ever, he is there 10 minutes early. When do you arrive?
I guess as soon as we can get there. I don't think we're rushing, but I think we are, we are a half elf and a gnome making our way downtown. So,
Making
I
our
guess-
way downtown, walking fast.
yeah,
We would
like
be
we're not,
yeah.
Okay.
yeah, we're not like dragging it out, but like there's a certain level of respectful dignity. Lavinia's not going to pick B up. So,
Yeah.
That's fair.
We're
Now-
not running for a man.
no,
Please.
we're not running for a man, specifically not this man.
I only have one pair of clothes. I'm not getting the messy for somebody else's weird situationship. Are you kidding?
That is 100% valid.
Yeah.
Um,
We're not like obnoxiously late, but like
No,
I don't
yeah.
think we're like exactly on time.
Now you arrive like a few
We
minutes
don't
early.
not stop for coffee.
You arrive a few minutes early. He's already there. He waves, and you see he's sitting at a table with two chairs.
Mhm.
And then like sees B behind you, and like has a quick like moment of processing, and then turns and looks at the waiter and like asks for him to bring another chair real quick. And they set like another place at the table, and he goes, "Oh, Lavinia, it's great to see you. B, good to see you again as well."
Yeah, yes, it's nice to see you. Not, you know, yeah, it's nice to see you.
Yeah, much calmer environment, I think.
Right?
Please have a seat. Um, I know I said I wanted to just kind of talk about some non-work stuff, but I have to ask, like, your house, are you okay?
Yes, the clerics did excellent work, and to be quite honest, I can't really describe what it's like to watch a spider eat a drider. But you feel alive after that.
I could
So-
imagine. I could imagine, yeah.
So,
Well, B, how are you?
I am good, as good as can be. Um, thankfully, uh, I a lot of my stuff is actually still at my boyfriend's house, so I'm not. Uh, I didn't lose everything, so that's nice.
If either of you need a place to stay temporarily, I'm more than welcome to. Any friend of Lavinia's is a friend of mine. You've done great work for the Watch, B.
I
Um,
appreciate that. It's nice to have so many people who have extra space. We've but I think we've both got a place.
I had a feeling both of you were already well taken care of, but it would be improper not to offer.
well, I'll see how Brindle feels. Maybe he will not be so inclined to staying in the castle ward with me. He might take you up on that offer.
I feel it would be in Brindle's best interest to not room with me.
Why?
Call it philosophical differences.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Um,
I am choosing to fail this.
out of character. He's a fucking CI. He cannot stay with the
can't live
commander of
with
the
him.
watch. It'd be so bad.
Lavinia
So
technically
bad.
should not be saying, yeah, Lavinia technically should be just like letting him go back to Troll Skull Manor, but she will definitely be like, if you want to come stay in this castle ward, you can, which she
Yeah.
should not be doing,
Mm-hmm.
but she will.
Mm-hmm.
This probably sounds trivial now, but I honestly have B, would you mind? He like slides some coins across the table and says, "Can you grab something from the bar for the three of us?"
B's gonna like not even subtly like look at Lavinia, and then like once she gets the nod, we'll be like, sure, of course, and we'll go to the bar.
Lavinia, I wanted to start this conversation by asking if you'd join me at the shipwright ball, but this morning took a weird turn, and I still would like that. But I have to ask, what happened to Tannis and Quincy? I was sent a restoration expense report from the Temple of Tyr for two individuals who were involved in, well, criminal activity who got patched up at the temple under your custody. I apologize. This is not the conversation I wanted to have when I invited you here, but I have to ask: where are they?
They're outside of the city now. In exchange for their help and information, their map, and after what happened to them at the hands of Manchun, and the implication of what happened to them with Arland, given that they needed to have that restoration performed on them to begin with. They'd be dead otherwise.
Go ahead and throw an inside check.
Yeah. $18.
You can actually see that Advent is like, he is so very, very conflicted about this conversation, and it like he just asked like straight up was just like, oh yeah, I'd like to be my +1 to the shipwright ball. Like that was very, like that was what he had locked and loaded. This whole other thing, he's like watching that first half of like, hey, I think it'd be cool to like go to this event with you, like slowly just die as he's having to like ask these questions that is like, I actually have to ask these though.
Yeah.
And it's like, did you at least give Captain Brem a status report before that decision?
He sent a memo. It wasn't necessarily a report, but I also had to play it carefully. Brindle was there. Brindle actually let me know he himself was going to be going down into the sewers of his own volition before we even got a hold of him. So
he says, "Listen, I'm not your boss. I'm not the county officer of the South Ward. It's not, but like, there's a lot of turmoil right now, and people are looking for any excuse to go after people doing even something that's perceived to be the wrong thing. I don't think you did the wrong thing. This is me, your friend, saying, be careful."
let's be honest with each other, Advin. All I've done is really what's always been in my pattern of behavior. There's a reason I've been bounced from ward to ward to ward. And the only reason why I got this deputy opportunity is because that is the kind of thing that a person desperate to get back onto the street off of a desk would volunteer for. I've let plenty of Tanis and Quincy's go, and you know it. Everyone knows I've done it.
They know, but they don't. Just be cautious.
Yes, it has been impressed upon me very, very stringently that I need to be more aware of my surroundings and my behavior as of late.
He kind of just like nudges, like he like nudges at his silverware. And says the paperwork is in order for Tanis and Quincy due to their cooperation to have been released. Also, but given the circumstances of potential or confirmed magical manipulation, their actions are considered not their own.
I appreciate the support.
It's the truth.
It is the truth. It's messy. It's always been messy.
That's very true. Before B returns, the shipwright's ball, I do want you there as a +1. This is just a request, but there's the potential of we received some potential intel to show that there could potentially be pirate activity.
Captain Zod's shipwright's ball?
I don't think it's going to be him. He has rivals, and I
Hmm.
think they're trying to make a point. And there will be quite a large gathering of nobles in one place.
Including my mother. So, if you're going with me, you're gonna have to deal with that.
I love
You
meeting
sh-
people's parents.
Ugh. Great, we can do that together. I don't remember. Must be crazy.
It would This should be an interesting evening. I'd maybe afterward we can get a drink and off the clock. I'd like that.
We'll see, okay? We'll see.
Then I think B gets back around that time.
I think what I'm gonna say is B actually comes back and actually has everyone's like favorite drink.
Oh yeah.
Think B like just sort of comes back and is like, here you go, whiskey sour, and it like just gives everybody like the drink.
B, go ahead and make a perception check. Let's see if you actually overheard any of that.
Oh, absolutely. All right, let's see here. Perception, wisdom off of wisdom. Okay, that is a 14.
14. I think you heard a large majority of that conversation. Um, and more importantly, I think you catch part of the vibe as well. As you kind of come back with the drinks.
Yeah, I think B is I think B was very much ready to sort of follow Lavinia's lead. So with that sort of vibe check, B can either like come back and be like real fucking weird, or can come back and be real chill. What I'm the vibe that I, Della, am getting is that it would be okay for her to come back and be real chill. Lavinia does not need saving from this moment.
I think that is correct. I think Lavinia is fairly confident in like that there is an understanding here.
Cool. So yeah, B will come back, deliver drinks.
Evan gives you a very like picturesque smile when you come back.
Mm-hmm. And I think B will sort of sit and say, so I hope all of the uh drama last night didn't completely screw up, the rest of the watch's behavior.
Hmm. It definitely added a few complications to what we had planned, but the most important part is everyone got evacuated.
That's really good to know. That's really
There are a few houses on it where unfortunately we couldn't do much for the people inside, but we managed to get out a lot of people before the fire spread.
yeah. Yeah.
So we'll help rebuild.
Yeah. Fucking drow, man.
Came all this way to end the lifeline of 2 people.
You know, I'm not convinced that that was it. I'm not convinced that that was it. Why come all like, you know, you
No, I
gotta
agree. That was a huge waste of resources to come all this way to kill 2 people and then not even successfully kill those 2 people.
right? Like there's petty and then there's that. So there must have been there's
That-
gotta be
It's
like
incredibly wasteful.
why come all the way
To-
up here with only one thing to do?
To wait this long.
This long.
This long.
Who did
I was
way
like-
easier to kill you
I
when
was
you
like
were a
3
baby?
months old when this
Right?
happened.
You know,
Shit's crazy.
talking with your dad about the Silver Marshes. There's no sport in. It's the Drow values strength. There's no sport in taking out a child. It sounds callous, but they'd wait until you were a warrior and they could prove that they had bested you. Clearly didn't. But
They're
you know,
0 for 2 on that one.
almost it's a very bizarre compliment in a way. It's just to see Bee processing.
I just don't I guess I feel like there's something we're missing and it's making me crazy.
We'll find it.
Yeah. I'm probably sublimating all of the stress and trauma of the past like 72 hours into this one question.
If there's someone you would like to talk to, the department has resources just to unpack or untwine whatever's going in through your head right now. I'm sure it's a lot.
A
This
stable eclipse spell.
off is on the table. If you are interested, let me know, please.
Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah.
But well, the food here is supposed to be excellent, so
B is going to try to catch a vibe from Lavinia if Lavinia would like B to fuck off.
Lavinia seems completely fine with however the situation is going. Lavinia, the Tannis and Quincy thing got handled in the way that Lavinia is satisfied with. And Lavinia's like, and then there's the promise of possible piracy and fights breaking out at the shipwright ball, which actually would be preferable to her than having to have an awkward dinner with her mom. She's actually got, Advin doesn't seem to realize it. He's given Lavinia a lot of good news.
Cool. If Lavinia seems like she's
this
fine,
conversation. So Evan's like, "Yo, you absolutely just cut people that had the crime like loose without telling anyone, and like I just did the paperwork
somebody.
for you to like make sure that was covered." And like, don't do that because you'll get fired. You're
Yep.
like, yeah, this conversation's going great.
Yeah, that is exactly what's happening here. Lavinia's like, we're on the same page. This is great. Good job.
if the vibe of Lavinia's is that this is that B gets from Lavinia is that this is like fine and she does not need someone to anti-wingman her. B will say, I've heard that as well. I really hope you guys enjoy. I've got to get back to the tower. I really hope you guys have a great night. It was great seeing you again, Advin. And
Always a
will-
pleasure, B.
B, are you going to be at the race later?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be at the race. Oh, shit, the race. Oh, I
Yeah.
got to go talk to CW. Oh,
Yeah.
shit. I have to get Silas to cover a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I'll see you at that, and then afterwards we can probably go look and see what's left over of our house.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Bye, guys.
and B will fuck right off.
As you leave, Evan will ask, like, Hey, B, do you know if all your things were destroyed? I know you haven't had a chance to go down there yet, but
I mean, a lot of the stuff that I don't have a lot of stuff. I travel light. I live light. So there were some clothes, some jewelry that I really hope didn't melt. But most of my stuff is sentimental more than valuable.
so he pulls out 5 gold and just says, like, look, this isn't charity. Like, we've been through a bunch together. If this helps, please
Advent,
take it.
I'm not taking your money. I'm not taking your money. I really appreciate it. That is so sweet of you. That is so sweet of you. I am not, I cannot accept this from you. That is so sweet. Thank you so much.
Are you going to the shipwright ball tonight?
Oh yeah.
At least use it to buy a dress.
Okay, let me put this a different way. I'm dating a dwarf. I cannot accept gold from another man.
Lavinia's gonna reach over and take the gold, and then she's gonna hand it to B from her own
He
hand.
does the math and like nods respectfully, like that will work.
I was like,
Tell you what, Lavinia.
does the palming trick work if Lavinia takes the gold first and then gives it to B?
Lavinia, please take some gold and whatever you can do to help your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Please do it.
B will see she's being out, like at this point, she's like, I have refused 3 times. I will now accept.
5 gold.
5 gold. 5 gold, a lot of fucking money, guys.
Yeah.
Call it an additional hazard pay for Lavinia.
Okay. This is very stressful. Bye, guys.
No. Hey,
Have a great night.
I'll see you at the race, B.
I'll see you at the race.
I like B.
She's very good. She's very busy. It's a little concerning.
She's sleeping well.
Well, I can't really tell because I'm usually asleep. So I can only assume that she is also asleep when I am asleep.
Understandable.
Knowing full well your ass ain't sleeping.
I ain't sleeping. Who needs sleep?
Who needs sleep? Who needs sleep when you can come up with fire hydrants?
Yeah, it's a great idea. I gotta be honest, it's a really good idea.
I think there's a moment of just like kind of awkward silence. And then Evan just says, Lavinia, I feel like there's a wall that's been kind of built up between the two of us steadily over time. I don't mean this is not a relationship conversation. This is just we joined at the same time. We've been through the same types of training. Have I done something to lose your trust somewhere along the way? Because I'd like to fix that if that's the case.
There's never been a point where I didn't believe that if something was going to happen, that you weren't going to be there and you weren't going to do your job, that you weren't going to do the correct thing. have always preferred police work to be a lot quieter than you tend to make things. Things that don't need to be big and showy. The police work that doesn't have to be front page. I don't distrust you, Advin. I'm just not interested in any of that noise.
He nods and says, I understand that we have some different ideas on what amounts to effective. That's not what I mean. I mean, when you walk in here and you sit down and I say your house last night burned to the ground and you were nearly assassinated by Drow, I become even more concerned when you just tell me that you're fine.
Would it make you feel any better if I told you that's exactly what I said to my father when he asked me this morning? Because it's not just a you thing. That makes you feel better.
I'm sure he took that well.
As well as he takes everything.
All I'm asking is that, like, just talk to me. Let me help out. Right? It doesn't have to be about departmental policies and like funding and like how we're organizing patrols. This is just two people literally having a conversation of like, are you okay? Because the events for the last couple of days, I'm not okay. I nearly died. I'm okay now. But I'll fully admit to you, like, there were a few moments where I was very concerned in the sewers.
A lot was going on in the sewers, that's true.
So that's all I'm asking is just talk to me. And if that's not something that you're in a place to do, at least don't. I'm saying this in the kindest way, like don't lie to yourself. Because I'm concerned that one day you're not going to be fine and not realize it.
Well, luckily for me, Advar can tell when I'm lying.
That's new.
So when I need help, Advent, I'll ask for it.
I believe you. And he looks over and like waves for two more drinks and is like, let's take a moment and just reset here, shall we?
We're having a liquid lunch, I see. I see.
And kind of fade out from that scene. And we're going to call it here, but there's one more thing that we got to talk about. Let's see. Where is it? Actually, no, that's a good thing to bring up next session. That affects a few more people. So we'll kind of zoom out there as everyone's trying to just kind of manage their lives, and I think we'll pick up with B meeting up with CW and get ready for this boat race.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
We did it.
We did it.
Yeah.
We did it. We didn't cause more chaos and destruction to the city. Just ourselves.
Yeah, but like a lot to ourselves.
But maybe a lot.
But maybe a lot to ourselves.
But maybe a lot.
Oh.
Was that stupid meme I sent? I feel like that was pretty accurate.
Which one?
Hold on. Sent it on Instagram.
Oh, the one you sent to me?
Yeah.
That one was real fucked. I was like,
Oh no.
ah.
Oh no.
It was the Rick and Morty like into the portal, like in and out Morty 20-minute adventure, and it's just like mostly filler session, DM players like, oh yeah, in and out 4-hour adventure, and it's like 4 hours later, the most emotionally charged and heavy lore session of the campaign. Just
right.
people
Yeah.
like the little.
Oh yeah.
You gotta drop it in the Discord.
Drop it in the Discord, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do that right now.
Oh man.
A lot of good stuff happened this session.
Now I have to. There's a thing I might actually like write up with Bee and Green Rock.
Green Rock is your friend.
It's
Just
my
wants to help.
friend. It wants to help. It's so nice. I think Bee's like trying on dress, like goes and like does actually go try on dresses and has a moment of being just like to Green Rock, like, I wish I could like show you off. That would be cool.
And compliment well with golds.
Like there's just like this brief moment of like fashion input of like, I'm not gonna do it because that would be stupid. I would get killed by like 1,000 people.
There we go. There it is. In the Discord.
But it would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
thanks everybody for hanging out with us.
Yeah, let's do some outros. Because, we end on the most awkward conversation of someone saying, please take care of yourself, I care about you.
Lavinia genuinely being like, but I am.
All right, nerd, whatever.
That's the worst part, is Lavinia's just like, I'm fine, this is fine, and everyone's like, your resting heart rate is probably, bitch, you should be dead.
You're actually having a cardiac event right now.
That's what happened to my grandfather.
Ooh, love that, Les.
He was at the hospital and he was trying to describe to his doctor. He's like, yeah, I've been having this weird sensation every once in a while. And then he was like actively strapped up to the machine and they were like, oh, can you describe it? And he's like, yeah, well, he's like, oh, I think I'm having one right now. And then he actively had a heart attack while he was strapped up to the machine. And they were like,
sir,
John. Oh yeah, that's how Lavinia's living her life.
I'm concerned about Lavinia. Fuck. Let's do some outros. Della.
Hi, I'm Della. I have been Bee. You can find me here at Neverember's Enigma every other Thursday. And at some point, we'll be back with Redacted, where I will also be here on Thursday. That's it. That's what I do. Goodbye.
I love it. Julia.
Hi, I'm Julia. I'm Hexwet on all social media platforms. I was here doing this tonight. I'm usually here every other Thursday playing Lavinia Hale. Remember, ACAB does include Lavinia Hale. Every other Saturday, I am Kelly Violet with Class Reunion. And usually every other Sunday, I'm Lyra Kroll with Academy H. But this upcoming Saturday is actually a brief interlude story where we will be using the system Fist again, which is the system that we used for our Falling Stars interlude. We're all going to be a bunch of little henchmen working hard, doing gig work. It'll be a good time. It'll be a silly little time. We have a guest GM for that one. It's going to be a lot of fun. You should come tune in and see it. And then every other Wednesday, currently in Wildcard Wednesday, I am doing with our Star Trek Gallant game. I'm playing First Officer Nyko Bard. Nyko Bard was just abducted. So was their medical. They're one of their science officers. Their best buddy, good friend Sosa. So we're doing fine. You should come check that out too. See if we live.
So much fine happening.
So much
fine.
fine. It's all fine.
It's all fine.
Here's the thing. I'm having a great time, so it's all fine.
You say
It's
with
fine
manic.
because it's fine.
You say with manic eyes. Hey, I'm Andrew. I run the game. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, hey, I'm actually doing my Veilbreakers finale on the 1st. And by finale, I mean epilogue, because we did the final fight already. But they owe a little wrap up. So that'll come to its grand conclusion, which would start with a wedding, and everyone dying. It might end with a wedding, and hopefully everyone living.
We can only hope.
Fingers
Spoilers,
crossed.
it's a time loop.
Time loop. Oh, that'd be mean as hell.
Time loop progression fantasy. Fund it. It's on Royal Road.
Hell yeah. But that's it for tonight. Otherwise, we'll be back in 2 weeks. And thank you all for hanging out for the Bee and Lavinia adventures that were just much wilder than I had anticipated.
It's talk o'clock with the cop and the wizard.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
We're just doing a lot of chit-chatting. A lot of chit-chatting.
Just start a podcast.
The Bee and Lavinia podcast.
Yeah, I love it. All right, well, thank you all for hanging out, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. So thanks for watching. Have a great
Bye,
night.
everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.